Fox Sports.
We are the Fourth. We are the Fourth.
Through the first two games of the series against the potent Orioles offense, Rays pitchers have held the Birds to just one run. In today's matinee, Matt Moore aims to rebound off a tough start and sweep the Orioles right out of town. So bang that gong. It's game time. Welcome to Rays Sunday Baseball, brought to you all season long by Hyundai. Rooms are out. The Rays and the Orioles moving into Game 3 of this series. The Rays have taken the first two games by scores of 2-1 and 8-0. Today, looking for a three-game sweep. As a result, they moved into third, a half game up on Baltimore. Boston up by a game and a half on New York. The Rays 3 full games back in the AL East. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to an afternoon of Rays baseball with Brian Anderson. Dwayne Stats will be hearing from Todd Callis, and Orestes Destrada will be with us throughout the game as well. The Rays winners last night in a big way, and Ben Zobrist part of that. He had 3 hits. He's been on base 20 of the last 21 games. Things are starting to happen for Ben Zobrist.
Very quietly, he's gone on that 20 out of 21 streak. He's hit .277 during those 21 games, but the on-base percentage at .368. He continues to take his walks. That's why you see him up at the top of the order, hitting the ball all around the field. I liked yesterday when he went out there, got a breaking ball, pulled that down into the right field corner for a double, shot the ball the other way on a fastball away, and then takes a fastball out over the middle of the plate and hammers one into right center field, using the whole field, starting to heat up.
NBA this afternoon, Matt Moore on the mound for the Rays after his 9th win. A couple of abbreviated starts, a 1-inning stint because of the rain delay in Cleveland, 2 innings plus in Detroit. Not good results. Does he just forget those and move on?
You absolutely do. And Matt Moore, after that last start against the Tigers, I would not want to face him today, because you're going to be a very determined pitcher out there who's been very good at home. As you see in the 5 starts, a perfect 4-0 record, a very good ERA, and he has been very good against the Baltimore Orioles, especially this year. 2 starts against this team. He's 2-0, and with Matt Moore, again, it's all about the command. That kind of left him in Detroit. I don't expect the same thing to happen here this afternoon.
Well, the Rays are in a stretch where they're 26 out of 36 games at home. They've made a little move in the standings already. Todd Callis will examine that in greater depth when we return.
Sunday afternoon baseball, game 3 of this 10-game homestand. There you see the matchup, and there you see the standings. Matt Moore against Chris Tillman. The Rays currently solo third in the AL East, 3 games behind the Boston Red Sox, who split their day-night doubleheader yesterday with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. So the Rays, 7 games over 500. Currently, they just flipped the Baltimore Orioles, currently in sole possession of third place in the East. And as you take a look at what's coming up ahead, the Rays will face that first-place Boston team beginning tomorrow for a 3-game series, and then Kansas City with James Shields and Wade Davis and Elliott Johnson comes in for 4. Then the Rays go right into Boston for 3 games, a day-night doubleheader on June 18th, and then the Yankees for 4 and Toronto back home for 3. Very important stretch in the schedule as Joe Madden talks about the Rays' current situation.
You got to climb over the group in front of you and then just keep moving forward. For us, it's try to get 10 games over 500, then to get 15 games over 500, etc. And, you know, of course, you notice the people in front of you, but you got to be focused on what you're doing. And, again, the next step is to get 10 games over 500, then to get 15, work the process. It'll all take care of itself.
So the Rays looking for a sweep today with Matt Moore on the mound and Ryan Roberts back in the lineup against O'Reilly. In 2 minutes and 45 seconds, we'll have the first pitch for you and all the game action right around the corner with Dwayne Stats and Brian Anderson. Enjoy it right here on Sunsport.
Rays have gone 7-4 against the Baltimore Orioles. Let's take a look at the Baltimore lineup presented by Sweet Bay Supermarket. Nick Markakis leads off, then Manny Machado and J.J. Hardy. The cleanup hitter is Adam Jones. Chris Davis at first base. Mac Wieters behind the plate. The DH is Danny Valencia. Steve Pearce in left hits 8th, and Alexi Casilla will bat 9th and play second base. Rays have won 10 of their last 13. And Matt Moore heads to the hill this afternoon to make the start.
Matt Moore will be making his 13th start of the season, his 3rd against the Baltimore Orioles. In fact, the first 2 starts against the Orioles this year, he has hooked up with Chris Tillman in both of those. So the 3rd match of Matt Moore v. Chris Tillman, Matt Moore has come out on the winning end of both of those starts. The 8-1 record, ERA 2.95. The opponent's average 199. Looking to avenge that last start against the Detroit Tigers. Really was just a lack of command. I mean, 6 walks, going to give up a lot of hits, putting himself into a lot of bad counts. And like he said, he thought that he was throwing across his body a little bit more, trying to get his bullpen session, get a little bit more direct, linear to home plate. That's where he's at his very best. That's what allows him to drive that ball downhill, the good curveball, the good changeup. Let's take a look at the Rays defense as it lines up behind Matt. In the outfield, left to right, Johnson, Jennings, and Joyce. Across the infield, third to first, Roberts, Escobar, Zobrist, and Loney. Jose Molina will be behind the plate.
Orestes Destrada will be with us, stationed in the camera well adjacent to the Rays dugout. Orestes, the great viewpoint from you again.
I love this viewpoint, especially because you got Matty Moore on the mound, guys. Great to be working with you and get to see some of his magic with that explosive fastball, the curveball, and see you get that depth. I will say this, I'm going to give him a mulligan from that last start, mainly because he had the start before that Cleveland start, you know, only 1 inning, and he kind of almost went 10 days without starting. So now he's back on his norm and expect him to get back on point.
Yeah, and I want you to be heads up there for right-handed hitters against Matt Moore.
I know. That tailing fastball might hit me right in the noggin.
Well, there's Matt Moore, the Rays lefty, set to make his 13th start. Rays shooting for a sweep of the Baltimore Orioles. They're in at 34-27, a season high, 7 games over 500 for the Rays. And Nick Markakis back in the leadoff spot. Nate McLeod has been pretty much of a fixture, particularly against right-handed pitching leading off. It's Markakis, first pitch right back to the mound, and Matt Moore makes that little pickup just off his hip. And the toss to first, so 1 pitch, 1 out. The first pitch presented by Pinch a Penny.
Nick Markakis not wasting any time. You know you're going to get a lot of fastballs from Matt Moore, especially if you're a left-handed hitter. So he goes right after it, right back to Matt Moore, and he makes the play. Get that glove out there quick.
Well, that'll get you into the game rather quickly.
You better believe it.
Here's Manny Machado, and this one hits him. Machado goes down in the batter's box, hit by the first pitch. I think it got him in the knee.
Boy, that hard fastball right off. Yeah, Manny Machado in some pain. Baltimore Orioles could ill afford to lose Manny Machado for any length of time. Look at this ball. Gets that back knee right on the kneecap.
And you hope that he's all right. The Orioles certainly do as well, because he was a catalyst for them when he came up last year. Buck Showalter out there giving it a very close examination.
How about the fact that this kid leads the major leagues in doubles with 26, and he's second in total hits.
Guys in the top 10 in the league in hitting. He won't be 21 for another month.
And then you look at what he does defensively, and you can understand the concern of Buck Showalter.
Well, he really did save that coming out season last year for the Orioles.
Yeah.
When he came up, he solidified their defense, and that was an issue particularly at third base. I mean, here's a guy who could play shortstop on almost any team in baseball, playing third base here for the Orioles.
How about the way that he was able to adapt to third base? I mean, he was a shortstop in the minor leagues, and then very covertly Baltimore started working him out at third base, you know, down in the minor leagues before the fans would come to the game, before the media was there, early in the afternoon, working him out at third base very quietly, bring him to the big leagues, throw him right there. Hasn't missed a beat.
Well, here's the reason he's playing third with Baltimore. J.J. Hardy got a couple of gold gloves at home. So Hardy up in the third spot in Buck Showalter's lineup. 1 ball, no strikes. 1 on with 1 out.
This Baltimore team so very good defensively. You know, you start to think with Machado and Hardy on the left side, Jones in center, Wieters behind the plate, understanding that they have to catch the ball. They certainly have enough offense.
1-2, fastball by him.
That's just absolutely overpowering. It's only 92 miles an hour, but Matt Moore, that ball just jumps out of his hand. He does a great job of hiding his arm behind his body, so the hitter sees that ball coming to the release point at the very last moment. J.J. Hardy with those low hands, you try to beat him up in the zone.
And a foul ball coming straight back and just off the front of the booth above us, just below the upper deck. So the count still 1-2.
Right up here.
Almost hit the ductwork.
That's right. Almost the first opportunity this year.
Back into center field. Jennings running straight back to the track, and it's off his glove. Ball rebounds to the turf. Hitting third, Machado. They're going to wave him around on that right knee. Apparently the knee's all right as he scores on the double to center by Hardy, and it's 1-0 Baltimore.
Well, J.J. Hardy put a charge into that ball, and the reason being is because that fastball was not elevated. J.J. Hardy's got those low hands. This ball a little further down in the zone. That allows him to go down and get it. Matt Moore supplying a lot of the power, and that ball just jumps off the bat. Jennings with an unbelievable attempt, just not quite there, off the tip of the glove. And then with that ball hitting off the wall and rolling away from him, that's what allowed Machado to come around and score.
38th run batted in for Hardy and Baltimore with a run here in the first inning. That matches their total of runs through the first 2 games. Swing and a miss. Jones out in front of that one. A changeup.
Yeah, how about what the Rays pitching staff has done to this offense through the first 2 games?
Yeah, this was coming into the series the most productive offense on the road.
Yeah.
And the Rays had held them to just the 1 run. They had 4 hits last night and 2 hits here on Friday. That's a shot headed toward the deep part of the park. One hop into the corner back there, that little triangle. Another extra base hit. Back-to-back doubles by Hardy and Jones. And the Orioles lead 2-0.
Now another pitch by Matt Moore. This is down in the zone, but Adam Jones just drops the head, and this ball just gets whistled. I mean, look at this ball come off the bat. That stayed in the air for a long time.
For Jones, his 39th run batted in. 19th double. It's a 2-0 ball game just that quickly. Here's Chris Davis. Still more danger. Davis leading the league in home runs with 20. Pitch down and away. I tell you, Jones has just worn out Matt Moore. He's now 8 of 17 against him. Doubling home Hardy. Moore comes in with a strike on the cut and the miss.
That's the swing from Chris Davis that we have not seen. That ball down and away from him that he takes a swing at. We've seen him take that ball to left field. That particular swing flew open a little bit, leaking towards the first baseline. Couldn't reach it.
He pulls this one foul. Fastball, it's 1-2. You know, that fastball in around 92, and that's pretty much where Moore is average. 92, maybe 93.
But he's effective with it. When he's in the zone, overall, he's going to be effective with it because of that deception, the way the ball jumps.
Pickoff move a little bit to the second base side. Actually the first base side of second, with Escobar taking the peg.
Yeah, that was a nice play by Escobar, saving another base by Adam Jones moving up there. That ball not nearly where you want it. Ball gets yanked a little bit by Matt Moore. You see Escobar, you're anticipating that ball near the bag to try to make a tag. And make a play like that.
A high fly ball, short right. Joyce coming in. He's got it. That's the second out. Well, that was a towering fly ball. Jones still at second.
You know, the swing there by Chris Davis on this particular fastball. Look at him really try to launch this thing. And then after the first swing that he took where he pulled off the ball, it almost looks like he's trying to hit home runs now as opposed to just letting that swing, you know, the barrel meet the baseball, and those things are going to come on their own because of how strong he is.
Yeah, we know how strong he is because we've seen him hit the ball out to left with plenty to spare. Matt Wieters. That pitch is a strike. Wieters at 235, but 6 out of 11 off Moore with a couple home runs, and Matt started him with a changeup.
Well, he's done a lot of that damage off of elevated fastballs. You can remember in Matt Moore rookie year, he came up. Wieters got him for a 2-run homer in Baltimore at Camden Yards on a fastball that was elevated out over the plate. You know, he creates so much leverage. Tall, lanky, can handle that ball up.
Moore trying to curtail the Baltimore offense in the first. They have 2 runs already. Jones at second. 2 outs, 2 strikes to Wieters. Well, the season series between these teams really has been a high-scoring matchup. That's why that game here on Friday night, 2-1, won by the Rays, unusual. A ball, 2 strikes.
You're talking about 2 of the top offenses in baseball going at it.
The Orioles third in the league with 302 runs. The Rays 298 to start play today. Only 5th in the American League in runs scored. Down to play the other way. So breaking stuff and off speed through the first 4 pitches of this at bat.
Well, that's what you do. You know, when you have a guy like Matt Wieters who's 6 for 11 off of you, you go back and you look at the tape. You're like, what is he hurting me on? You know, and if there's a certain theme that jumps out at you, that's how you game plan around that. You know what not to do now.
And in a bit, did come in with a fastball there. That evens the count.
It's amazing what you can pick up on video and see what guys are swinging at, what guys are having success off of. Am I behind in the count? Am I predictable? Is it the same patterns? All those little tricks that you can use to make adjustments.
And a cut and a miss. He strikes out Wieters. A foul-tipped strikeout on a breaking ball. 2-run score. We go to the bottom of the first. Rays coming in to hit. to bat in the bottom of the first. Here is Madden's lineup, presented by Sweet Face Supermarket. The Rays have Matt Joyce again leading off. Vince Zobrist, number 2, and then Kelly Johnson in the 3rd spot. Evan Longoria will be the designated hitter today. James Loney follows, and then Desmond Jennings in the 6th position. Ryan Roberts, Jose Molina, and Yunel Escobar, 7, 8, and 9.
Now taking the mound this afternoon for the Baltimore Orioles, right-hander Chris Tillman, making his 13th start of the season. You see that number right there, 5-2 record. Those 2 losses are against the Rays and Matt Moore. And in fact, if you go back to his call-up last year on the 4th of July, he is 14-5 with a 3.40 earned run average, and his last 3 losses have been against the Rays. In fact, he hasn't lost to a team other than the Rays since August of last year.
Yeah, Matt Moore beat him in Baltimore on the 17th of April, 6-2 and 3-1 in Baltimore on May the 19th. First pitch, and Matt Joyce looks at a strike.
You look at who he pitches against in the American League East, and those 5 losses in 27 starts from last 4th of July are Minnesota, Kansas City, and the Rays 3 times.
Joyce offering to bunt against the shift. Just had Machado on the left side, and so he's down 0-2.
Taking that.
Joyce with a foul ball. Curveball 0-2, and he was out in front getting a piece of that pitch to dribble it foul. Well, Tillman's really rounded into a pretty reliable starter for them. 1 ball and 2 strikes here. 7 of his last 9 starts have been quality starts for the Orioles, and with their offense, they just want a pitcher to keep them in the game.
That's it.
Swing and a miss. Joyce out on the changeup.
You know, and Chris Tillman, what he features, you know, he's a tall, lanky pitcher, drives the ball downhill, but he's not a big ground ball guy. It's about a 50-50. He does have that good changeup right there. You saw the hook, the good 12-6 curveball, little slider. But you're right, he just is very methodical in the way he goes about his business out there. Simple mechanics, just tries to move the ball around and get poor contact.
And Zobrist takes a fastball away. And coming off last night's double single and double night, 3 for 5. Curveball drops in, 1-1.
Well, he had some really good at-bats. You know, off Gaussman yesterday, had not seen a breaking ball, and in a 3-2 count, able to stay back and double off that pitch. Shot one the other way, crushed a mistake out over the plate to the wall in right center.
Takes it into left. That's going to stay up for Pierce. He backs up a little bit. 2 gone.
Let's take a quick look at the Baltimore defense lining up behind Chris Tillman this afternoon in the outfield. Left to right, Pierce, Jones, and Markakis across the infield. 3rd to 1st, Machado, Hardy, Casilla, and Davis. Matt Wieters once again behind the plate.
So with the bases empty, Kelly Johnson. Johnson hitting 3rd for the Rays. He's been back in the lineup here in this series after suffering from a little back tightness. It cost him a couple games at the end of the road trip. Fouls it back, 1-1. Kelly looking for his first hit of the series. He's getting back in the lineup. And he breaks his bat, rolls it back to Tillman, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for the Rays against the right-hander. On to inning 2 we go. It's 2-0 Baltimore. Hyundai. New thinking, new possibilities. By the Tampa Bay Times, amazing stories only in the 2013 Pulitzer Prize-winning Tampa Bay Times. And by Toyota, let's go places. From Tropicana Field, the Rays and the Orioles' third game of this series. Boston in next, followed by Kansas City on this 10-game homestand. And Matt Moore back out to the hill to work the second inning. Eddie Valencia is the designated hitter for the Orioles. He leads off. And the pitch is in there, a strike. Steve Pearce and Alexi Casilla will follow. And there's a shot headed into center field. That's going to go all the way back to the wall. Valencia heads to second. Well, a two-base hit for Valencia, and that's all the Orioles are hitting so far.
One extra base hit in the first two games, and already a few. There's a breaking ball that didn't do much breaking. That stayed middle of the plate up. Valencia got a very good look at it, a nice swing, and roped that ball right to the wall. Well, that's why he's in here. You know, you just remember the success that Valencia has had off at David Price, another hard-throwing left-handed pitcher. Pearce the same way. Get those righties in the lineup, the power potential.
Pearce takes a fastball. That's a strike. Well, that gives Valencia 3 out of 7 off Moore, and he's 7 of 10 against David Price. 0-2 the count on Pearce. David, the Rays hopeful of having him back. The last word we heard, maybe early July, at the quickest, the end of June. They're thinking of 3 rehab starts for him. Ground ball past the diving Robertson to left. Valencia will have to stop at third. An off-speed pitch, and Pearce on 0-2 shot it into left.
Ball again out over the plate. Pearce gets enough of it to get it by the diving Ryan Roberts. You know, and you wonder if Valencia, you know, he's reading obviously that ball out in front of him, but when you see the third baseman obviously leaving the bag and diving, even if he comes up with that, he's not going to be able to tag you. And he held up, only able to make it to third.
There's Alexi Casilla with men at first and third. Nobody out. Looked it up the right side toward foul ground. Joyce over. He'll make the catch. A tag by the runner Valencia at third. He will score. That's going to make it a 3-0 game. As Casilla delivers a sacrifice fly. Pearce remains at first. Orestes, what do you see from your vantage point?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm seeing from the vantage point here. There's a team in the Baltimore Orioles that are very aggressive, has had great success this year and last year offensively, and they got stymied. I mean, stymied dramatically the last 2 days. And I think Jim Presley, their hitting coach, just said, listen, guys, let's start swinging the bat aggressively and early. And it started with Nick Markakis, who's up here. First pitch, boom, hard grounder right back at the pitcher, and it hasn't stopped. They're not taking too many pitches. They're up there, see the ball, and hit the ball.
Well, the first pitch to Markakis is down.
You know what else they're thinking too is they've got a guy coming off at a start where he really struggled with his command, so that's going to be the focus. Get the fastball in the zone early, and so Baltimore's saying, okay, and if you do that, we're going to be sitting there waiting for it, ready to swing.
You're right. That's again, the hitting coach probably Presley notices that, tells his boys, let's just be a little more aggressive on fastball over the plate.
Well, this team's aggressive anyway. When you look at their pitches per plate appearance, you know, they're right at one of the most aggressive teams in all of baseball, and it's impressive that they're able to be that aggressive and have improved so much in the strikeout category. They don't strike out, but yet they're up there hacking.
Yeah, they put a lot of balls into play. They don't walk a lot, and they don't strike out much. Markakis fouls it out of play. But they do hit home runs, and they score their share of runs. It's an action-packed lineup.
Think about it. Think about stolen bases. They steal a ton of bases, and their success rate is through the roof.
48 out of 56.
And home runs. So they run. They have power. Such a dynamic lineup. But that's why what the Rays did to them the first 2 games of this series is all the more impressive.
Upstairs. Fastball runs the count to 3-1. So it would behoove the Rays to have their offensive shoes in great gear here today with the start by the Baltimore lineup first time through. 3 runs, 4 hits. It's fouled out of play. And that first time through the lineup's pretty reflective of what the Orioles offense has been like. 3 runs, 4 hits, no walks, and 1 strikeout. And they are on the board with 3.
And 3 of the 4 hits for extra bases.
Yeah, they lead the league in slugging percentage. So that's absolutely in the mix. Swing and a miss. Markakis chased the fastball up. Second strikeout for Matt Moore.
It's so hard for hitters to lay off that pitch. And so difficult to get on top of. You see that right up at the letters. 93 with a little hop.
Two outs, and here's Manny Machado. He's after the first pitch and fouls it.
Hey,
hop down into the bullpen. He's ready.
Let me tell you this, Dwayne. So I get out of my car this morning in the parking lot.
Yep.
And I hear, "Hey, BA, heard you blew me up yesterday." I turn around and it's our man, Mark Specht. And I go, "I got to be honest with you, I did." And I look at this. Look at him on it. Follows it right in. I told you these guys can make plays. So I said, "Hey, listen, so what happened with the play yesterday?" Yeah. He said, "The lights got me." He said, "I looked up." He said, "The lights got me." And he said, "I just did a cursory bend over at the end and totally misplayed it. And, you know, you had to blow me up like that." I said, "Well, listen, it looked like a lack of effort to me. I just call it like I see it. I'm not always right." So I said, I will acknowledge, you know.
There you go.
Right. I hope that everybody knows that we were kidding around with them. But, yeah, how about that? Run into him right in the park. And I was thinking about him driving in. I was thinking, I hope that he doesn't think that we were being serious about that. And first thing that gets said to me at the ballpark, I thought I was going to fight in the parking lot this morning.
Uh-oh. Line shot toward the corner and right on an 0-2 pitch. Pierce around third, headed for the plate. He scores a double off a fastball into the right field corner for Machado. And the Orioles have put up 4 so far here through an inning and 2/3.
Boy, and that one hurts too. Trying to get out of this inning, no more damage. Look at that ball up in the zone. And Machado, that ball away from you that's up is the one that's easiest to get to. You just take a level swing like he did, and that ball just shoots down into the corner. And here's the deal. Yeah, you're off and running. And all of a sudden now with 2 outs, he'll stumble around second, still going to be able to score easily.
Machado's 2-base hit, his 27th of the year, leading the league. And it drives in a run. Now 1-0 to J.J. Hardy.
The thing, guys, about Machado has been so impressive. Number one, he's only 21 years old. But he can handle so many different pitches. I mean, I'm really impressed how he handles breaking pitches down and away. Fastballs up is
way up here on that pitch to Hardy, saved by Molina.
He really has a great approach. A little different than the big boys from Trout, the 20-year-old phenoms that we hear a lot about, Trout and Harper. This guy's more of a, you know, a batsmith type of kid who's going to spray it around. Not a big home run kid, but wow, what a player.
Yeah, Russ, is the thing that really impressed us is how veteran-like he is in his demeanor to only be 20 years old when you were breaking in. You know, they say, well, the game speeds up on you. Was it that way for you in that adjustment period? Because it seems Machado didn't need an adjustment period at all.
Goodness, I mean, I signed at 19, and there's no way that I was ready to take on what he's taken on. I spoke with him briefly before the game because I know some of his coaches back in Miami, and in a real fine program at Miami, Brito has put out some high high-quality players already. And a lot of that has been the coaching and the strong programs they have in Miami, and the confidence that these kids come out already at 18, 19 years old.
Yeah, he has such a great calmness about him. Here's the ball driven into deep left center. That's off the wall. It's going to score Machado. Hardy goes into second with a double. Boy, it's an extra base hit exhibition here. Up and down this Baltimore lineup, and the Orioles make it 5-0.
Now another pitch that was just out over the plate. You're going to go with the changeup here. Look where this ends up. Where J.J. Hardy head down, full extension, and the ball just jumping off these Oriole bats this afternoon.
So they've added 3 more runs in the second inning.
Boy, this is where it's tough for a pitcher. You know, you're coming off that last start when Matt Moore said, listen, I'm going to pretend like this never happened. I'm just going to put it behind me, move on to my next start, get back into my normal 5-day routine, and here we go. All of a sudden, the way that Baltimore's jumped out here, guess what? You remember that last start, and this is where it really becomes a mental grind to try to continue on in this game.
Yeah, and 5 of the 6 hits for extra bases. They've had 5 doubles. They've sent 12 hitters to the plate. They have 5 doubles. And here's Adam Jones, who we mentioned the first time he was up there. He's the one guy in this lineup who really has had great success against Matt Moore.
You can see where his aggressive swings are, where he wants the ball. The first ball that he rifled out to the wall was down in the zone. That pitch right there, down in the zone, where he can get that good extension. That's where he wants it.
A 1-strike count to it. And it bounces away from Molina and out of play. Wild pitch moves Hardy over to third.
See a changeup coming down to catch it. No, just past the plate, and Jose Molina and trying to backhand it. That's a lot of times what will happen. If you don't come up with that ball cleanly, it's going to rebound away somewhere big. It hit right off the heel of the glove and went in the well.
Jones reaching on the changeup down there, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. Run outburst early in this game by Baltimore.
I'll tell you, the other thing that we haven't seen is this team coming in, as Arestas was talking about earlier, going to be aggressive off Matt Moore right off the bat. If he's going to be in the zone with the fastball, they're going to be ready to hit it. 12 men coming to the plate, 5 doubles. Nobody's had their feet moved. A lot of comfortable hitters.
Yeah, at some point you've got to do something other than that. The only hitter who might have been uncomfortable was Manny Machado, who on the second pitch of the game was hitting the knee.
Yeah, I guess his feet were moved.
But that was it. And then the onslaught began, and since that, no one has been moved.
You've got, this is one of those points in the game where you have to reclaim the plate. Right now, it's Baltimore Orioles plate, and it shouldn't be.
Put away. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
What ends up happening, though, is if you allow it to go on too long, and at 5-0 in the second inning, it's almost been allowed to go on too long. Now, if you dose somebody, you're going to get warned and kicked out of the game. Where they have the quick triggers nowadays.
And a foul tip strikeout. Swing and a miss on the foul tip by Jones. 3 runs home. We go to the bottom half of the second. Evan Longoria will lead it off. The Rays have to play catch up today. Down early, 5-0. rest of the game to play catch up, and that's what the Rays will do as we start the bottom of the second. A reminder, send your favorite Rays player to the Big Apple this summer to play in the All-Star game. Simply log on to RaysBaseball.com to fill out your ballot. Vote now and vote often. Evan Longoria DHing today. Comes out swinging at the fastball, fouling it away, strike one. Loney and Jennings will follow. Evan has hit 3 home runs in his career off Tillman. 8 out of 18 against him. Takes a big cut right there at a fastball.
A good pitch to hit right there for Evan. He knows it. He has that look on his face. I'd like to have this one back.
There have been a handful of these pitches that Evan has received over the last few games.
You're absolutely right. Pitches that he is normally smoking.
Well, he'll take this one into right toward the corner. On his way to second. Markakis plays the carom out of the corner. 19th double for Evan.
Yeah, he just stays in the moment. You know, you hear hitters talk all the time, and Orestes, you can chime in on this. They say, listen, a lot of at-bats, you're going to get one pitch to hit. And if you miss it, you're kind of like, doggone it, that was my one shot. Well, Evan, you know, he stands out, got the look on his face, says, okay, now what can I do with 2 strikes? He's done a great job this year of hitting with 2 strikes, and he just goes down and takes that pitch. That's a better quality pitch from Tillman's point of view, shoots it into the corner for a double.
And that's why he was up in the upper 300s. He's taken a little bit of a lull here in the last couple of weeks, and a lot of it is because of that, because he stopped kind of going the other way with those tougher pitches you're talking about, BA, and he knows it, and he's just getting right back to that.
James Loney has done a great job for the Rays, hitting with men in scoring position. A great job hitting overall. 7th in the league with men in scoring position at 371.
And that's the one thing with Evan Longoria's swing that stands out to me is when he is not locked in, when he is not where he wants to be, you'll see a lot of those lazy fly balls to right field, where he'll start reaching for the ball and start feeling for it out there instead of staying on that pitch like he did there and driving it the other way.
Yeah, there are a lot of extra base hits in his approach. Oh, just doing what he did right there.
Explosive hands. That's what allows it.
But here's what happens. And BA, you know, differently for pitchers and hitters, the season is such a grind. It really is. It's Groundhog Day, and you just boom, boom, and you're traveling. We've started on the road a lot, and a lot of traveling. We just saw Chris Davis having some bad, swings. This guy has been consistent to left center and hammering those pitches. And you go through these little lulls that then you get out away from yourself. You start body swinging because you're trying to overcompensate. And then you have to regroup yourself, maybe a day off, a DH day, and you get back to it.
Roller for Casilla. It will advance Longoria to third. Loney's out. One gone.
Yeah, it's really hard to appreciate what these players go through. I remember sitting in a meeting. Actually, it was with Buck Showalter, our manager with the Diamondbacks, and he said, talking to us before spring training started, he said, I'm going to tell you guys something right now. He's like, nobody outside of this room, and I mean nobody. I don't care if it's your wife. I don't care if it's your mom and dad, whoever it is, will understand what you guys go through on a daily basis than just those that are in this room. I don't care how close they are to you. They'll never understand what it's like to be a big league ball player, and from the middle of February until October, every single day is accounted for, and you're doing the same thing almost every day. And even when you get a day off, half of those days you're traveling somewhere, so it's not really even like a day off. It is an unbelievable grind that spans 6 months of a regular season and almost 2 months of spring training. It just beats you down mentally, physically, the whole 9 yards, and it's tough to get an appreciation for it unless you've done it.
Yeah, and then you play all those months with the aim to extend the season even more and play another month.
Yeah, give me October. I'll tell you one thing, though. You get to October baseball,
you're all renewed.
Oh, you better believe it. All those aches and pains disappear.
A little tap, third base side, down the line comes Longoria. Throw to first is not going to be in time. And Jennings has an infield hit and a run batted in. Well, the Rays get one of those runs back. Well, Jennings, you compare that to the home run he hit the other night. He's still getting the job done on that little dribbler to get the Rays on the board.
Again, it's not pretty, but it is effective. Too much speed. There's no chance Tillman's going to get him. And if that's the Rays, if that's what you're going to do to get back into this game, that's it. You just put together some at-bats. You know, James Loney had a productive at-bat, grounding that ball to the right side and moving Evan over. Put a series of those together. We've seen this offense get hot before for long periods of time.
Well, that's why if you're going to get down early, because you can score a couple of runs here, another run there, and before you know it, the opposition hears you.
I'll tell you what, I love to get down early, D-Wayne, and then get down late, too. It's last call.
I've heard that.
That's the nickname.
Wall to wall.
I was following him for a second. I was going, you know, okay, get down early. I'm going to battle and I'm going to strike out a few guys. And then he's like, no, get down late.
I dial it up early and I finish strong.
It's a whole different game we're talking about here.
Well,
Wayne, I didn't know what game we were talking about.
Now he's battling all the time. Runner goes, the pitch in, the throw. Oh, it's going to be in time. That pitch to Roberts up. And Wieters unloads a throw to get Jennings down at second.
What a play by Alexi Casilla to be on the other side of the bag and then swing all the way back with the tag. This throw on the wrong side of the bag. Look at this. Come on. That is outstanding play by Alexi Casilla.
And the Rays lose the base runner.
Desmond, too, if he hits the front edge of that bag, he's probably in there safely. But that foot sneaking around the backside right where the Casilla tag went. But regardless, just a heads-up play. Great feel for Casilla.
Chop to third. Machado up with it. The throw to first. So the caught stealing puts the brakes on what the Rays might have put together in the second, but they get a run.
To the third inning. Matt Moore in his last start in Detroit lasted just 2+ innings, and he talked about an inconsistent release point in that game.
Chalking it up to release point is really where I'm at with it. It's I never felt like it was coming out of the same area. I felt like from pitch to pitch it was behind my head one, out in front the other. So it's yeah, just chalk it up as that.
Guys, he said in the other starts this year, he's had to battle that occasionally, but usually finds it during the course of the game within a batter or two. But that was not the case last start. We'll see if it's the case today. Back to you.
Yeah, we've seen him, BA, and we've talked about this. We've seen him be very good about self-correcting situations early in the years. He throws a strike here to Chris Davis. And that in contrast to even last year, it would take him 2 or 3 hitters to do that. Maybe a visit from Jim Hickey. So that was a big part of his quick start for the Rays.
That's why I think it's important for a pitcher like Matt Moore, who's going to struggle with that issue probably most of his career. He's going to get better and better at it, no doubt about it. But that's going to be one of the things that he has to keep an eye on. And what you need to do is really, when you have a game where you feel like everything is in sync, there are going to be certain feelings that come over you that you can go right down. And so when I'm going good, this is what I feel like. Like I used to do that with my changeup. Right? When my changeup was going good, it felt like I was releasing it right in front of my face. And so that would be when I would start to struggle with that pitch. I would think, okay, get the hand out in front of the face. And that would all of a sudden you'd start to auto-correct and help yourself that way. And that's what he needs to do. When I feel good, and it's easy to have one of those outings and then you just go in and you're in the locker room, the clubhouse, and you forget about it. But you really need to jot that things down. 3 different keys on when everything is in sync. What am I feeling? And then when I'm out of sync, how do I get back to those 3 things?
Yeah, I ask guys about that, and all of them talk in terms of how they feel as opposed to trying to think their way through a situation. Right. It's all feel.
That's right, because that's what it is. That's what you're doing out there. You're out there performing. Like he said, sometimes it felt like it was behind my head. Sometimes I was too far out in front. It's a total feel. So write down how you feel when it's going good, and remember that.
The drive into right center field. Joyce on the run. He's going to make a diving attempt, but it's away from him. Comes right back to him as Wieters pulls into second with a stand-up double. Great effort by Matt Joyce, and while he was sprawled on the track, the ball bounded right back to him. He quickly got it back in.
Matt Joyce trying to make strides defensively has worked on that, when he was up in Detroit. And you really love a guy going all out for you. He knows you're struggling on the mound, and he's doing everything he can to try to get you an out right there. Doesn't end up doing it, but you got to appreciate the effort if you're Matt Moore.
Well, 7 hits and a barrage of 2 base hits. The Orioles had 2 doubles in the first inning, 3 doubles in the second, and now a 1-out double here in the third. Here's Danny Valencia. He opened the second inning with a 2-base hit. Fastball is high. 15th double for Wieters has put him in scoring position with 1 out in the third. He picks up a strike. Valencia 1-2. Moore had given up 3 runs in just under 14 innings of work this year to the Orioles. 5 runs in this game in 2 1/3. Around his feet. 2-2. I thought it was interesting you're talking about trying to make these hitters a little more uncomfortable, and you get into the swing of things in the game, and that's a point that sometimes is lost on a pitcher, as strange as it may seem.
It happens. It happens. I can remember a start that I had. I was getting ready to face the Philadelphia Phillies and had faced them earlier in the season, and they pounded me pretty good. And so I went back and looked at the game tape, and here I had thrown 2 pitches on the inner half of the plate for the game. Now that I wasn't good enough to live on one half of the plate. I had to pitch in and out. And I'm like, 2 pitches on the inner half of the, that's it?
But
well, no wonder I got.
It took you looking at the video.
It took me looking at the video.
To figure that out.
That's right.
Although you lived through it.
That's right. And then, you know, because the game starts to speed up, situations happen, you're trying to get that ground ball double play down and away. You know, all these different things happen. And I remember going into the field that day, and as we're getting ready to go over the lineup, I said, I don't even want individual reports here. I don't even care. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to make these guys aware of the fastball in, off the plate, and in for a strike right off the bat. That's what we're going to do, period, end of discussion. And it was like facing a new team. All of a sudden, the swings weren't as good. Guys weren't diving out over the plate and had a completely different outing. But you're right. It took going back and looking at the video after the fact when I'm standing out there doing it all the while myself. That's where it helps to have a catcher with a sense of awareness that can notice some of those things for you and say in between innings, hey, listen, we've been away all day. We need to get some balls in, make these guys aware. Okay, let's go do it.
Yeah. Orestes, as a hitter, that's something that you can speak to. I'm sure if they make you aware of that pitch inside, your brain might tell you one thing, your body's telling you another thing.
Well, here's the deal. In both sides, hitting and pitching, but I know for hitting, it's about a zone thing. It's about getting in a you know, like a tunnel. So if you were just basically always in this tunnel and the pitcher in question is just pretty much throwing over the plate or away, over the plate or away, man, I'm just tunnel visioned in, and nothing is bothering me to even think about that tunnel vision. So then once you come up and give me that chin music, it disrupts me, literally.
Runners break on this pitch, and it's line foul by Steve Pearce. Takes the count to 0-2. Well, that's the whole point of the pitcher coming in, right? Is to get you out of that comfort zone.
Yeah, you completely get out of the comfort zone. You almost awoken from that comfortable zone that you were in. Even the guys on the bench or the guy on deck is awoken a little bit, and he's going, oh, hey, whoa, what happened to all this niceness out over the plate? And then it changes things. It's a very, very effective pitch, almost as effective as changing with changeup, sliders, curveballs, fastballs.
And a base hit into left. Johnson charges it. They're going to hold Wieters at third. And the bases are loaded with one out. Double walk and now a single by Steve Pearce. And the Orioles with a major threat.
And you see how Baltimore's continuing to be able to cover the plate. That's not a terrible pitch. That ball's probably off the plate or very close to it. And look at Pearce, just stays back. Just able to shoot this ball out into left center field. Able to cover everything.
So Pearce is 2 for 2. Bases loaded. Here's Alexi Casilla. And a base hit through the hole. Wieters scores. Valencia is going to be held. Ball gets away. Nobody backing it up. Molina will have to go back to get it, and the run scores. Roberts had to come down from third base, and belatedly so, to give the Rays even any coverage at the plate. So Valencia scores.
Well, this is where it just gets sloppy. You know, the pitcher is obviously frustrated in what's going on out there. You give up the changeup right here, base hit to Casilla, and you're supposed to be backing up home plate right here. And that's a little bit late to even get started and never gets there. And that ball right through the 5-hole of Molina, and that's what happens. That is just sloppy, sloppy baseball.
So that makes it 7-1.
You know, that goes back to the old bad news bears, why you never assume anything. You know, you figure that ball's going to get thrown in, someone's going to catch it, but you can't assume that.
Markakis lifts a fly ball to right. Joyce makes the catch. Pierce tags, and he's going to score. The ball bounding one hop past Molina, backed up by Moore. And over to third base goes Casilla. So another run is home, and it's 8-1 Baltimore.
Now Matt Joyce, do or die, just airmails this, trying to get that run at the plate. Just wasn't going to quite be in time. It would have been close, but that ball where Molina was going to catch it and then bring it down for the tag, you see Pierce would have beat it regardless.
Here's Machado. 2 outs in the inning. And Machado batting for the 3rd time in this game already. Takes a fastball high. Up the right side toward the line. Long run for Joyce. He dives. Oh, he made the catch. That's a fair ball. And what a catch by Joyce. That will finally retire the side. And boy, you talk about getting your running in right field. Joyce has certainly done that today, and a great grab there. 8-1 Baltimore. Trying to run a ball down. He was racing toward the line in right field. Our Dunkin' Donuts high energy play of the day, pulled off by Matt Joyce to finally end the top of the 3rd. Boy, what a great catch.
Well, continuing to work hard for his pitcher, for his team. Matt Moore acknowledging it. Great play.
So after all that went wrong in the top of the 3rd, a great play to finally pull the curtain on that. Here's Molina fouling away the first pitch in the bottom of the 3rd. 3 runs, 2 earned in the top half of the inning. The error in the inning. The error, they charged Molina with the error on the throw coming in. And nobody backing it up. Molina rolls it to short. Hardy makes the throw, and that's out number 1 here in the bottom of the 3rd. Let's check in with Todd Callis now. Todd?
Dwayne, big day here over at the Home Run Club Suite. We have Laura Lynn Seeger. We also have Tanya Wilkins joining us. Laura Lynn, Executive Eckerd Director, Licensing. Laura Lynn, tell us about the special day going on behind us.
Today is our Be Their Champion Kids campaign to come out and get information about being a foster parent. It is in partnership with the Tampa Bay Rays Foundation. Eckerd serves over 6,000 children in the Tampa Bay area who have been abused and neglected. And as you can see, we had an earlier orientation for foster families to raise awareness that we need foster families in our community. So we also had a foster parent throw out the first pitch. It's a great day for foster parents and the Rays partnership.
We love that. Tanya, Governor's statewide child advocate. Your goal, the goal across statewide, is to have 1,200 foster homes recruited for this year. Why is a day like today so important for that?
Today is so important for this reason because people need to understand that our kids are not bad kids. Our foster children are just children that have had things happen to them so they can't have parents at home taking care of them. And a day like this about fun and about normalcy and about everything that a child can learn from a parent is about what Tampa Bay Rays has done in partnership with us and the CBC. And it's an amazing day, and we're so excited to partner with them.
And we're excited to have you guys here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Laura, Lynn, and Tanya, guys, back to you.
All right, Todd, thank you very much. It's a great cause and good things going on out there. Two balls, two strikes, the count to Escobar. 3-2. Escobar lifts one foul and back out of play. How about Escobar? Almost for a month now. Over 340.
Well, he really got that swing under control, and he has been raking. You know, he had one extra base hit the first 30 games. In this stretch right here, he's had, I think, at least 8 multi-hit games. Make it 9.
Well, guys, one of the things that he's been able to do, and I've spoken a lot about it, is control his body and have it be more hand swings instead of arm and body swings. And he's been able to get back to that. He's got such quick hands.
Pops it up. Oh, that's a big league pop foul. Davis under it from first base. Escobar out number 2.
We singled out both shortstops in the pregame. TK and myself talking about the turnaround by J.J. Hardy. Started the first month hitting the 200, 202, 169 for Unell, and now they're both well over 300, 324 for J.J. and 321 for our guy Unell. And again, a lot of extra base hits and a lot of RBIs from shortstops.
And Joyce sends one foul. That's out of play beyond the left field corner. Well, what the Rays have gotten from Escobar over the last close to a month now is really pretty much what they thought they were going to get. They knew that there was some offense there. He's stronger than the average shortstop, so there are a lot of extra base hits there. That's something Joe Madden was looking for and talking about as far back as spring training.
And how about with that stretch, hiding him down right at the bottom of the lineup? You wonder why the bottom of the lineup has been so productive. He's a big part of it.
Yep. And Madden had said he was a little tempted maybe to move him up, but things were working out so well. Why mess with him?
Right. And you're getting production up and down. I mean, how many times was it? 10 times now that they've batted around? You hardly ever saw that at any point last year or the year before, but they're able to piece together these innings, and you know what? He's being productive down there. He's comfortable down there. Let him stay down there.
Well, you hear a lot of talk about a number 9 hitter and being able to help turn the lineup over. Well, you've seen that in action with Escobar.
And by the way, where are you going to move him? There's a lot of other productive guys up in the middle of that lineup.
Joyce lifts a fly ball short left. Pierce is there to catch it. We're through 3 innings from Tropicana Field. It's 8-1 Baltimore. Fourth inning, time for our AT&T social media poll. We'll be leading the American League East at the All-Star break. TB1 Boston, TB2 New York, TB3 the Rays, our TB4 Baltimore. Right now those are the top 4 teams in the division. We go to the fourth and J.J. Hardy takes a strike. Boston up by a game and a half on New York and 3 up on the Rays, 3.5 in front of Baltimore. Down to third, Ryan Roberts makes the play with a throw to first. Hardy's out. 1 away. Well, the Rays have this run, and they do have an opportunity to make some headway in the AL East. They're home here leading up to the All-Star break, and they're going to be home a lot more than they have been. 26 out of 36 leading up to the break for the Rays. They've taken the first 2 games from Baltimore, and no one's going to make just a run and go high. No. I mean, we've seen what the Rays have done to Baltimore, holding the Orioles offense down until today, and here come the Orioles roaring back, taking advantage of opportunities, and that's the nature of the AL East. There's a shot off the bat of Jones. Boy, did he get a hold of this one, and that one is way out of here. He hit that one back all the way to the stairwell. Adam Jones hitting his 12th home run, and he hit that ball a mile.
He knocked the absolute Goldschmidt out of that pitch.
Oh, lovely. As in Paul.
Full extension, hanging breaking ball. Loud.
Well, he continues in his dominance in this one-on-one matchup with Matt Moore. Swing and a miss here by Davis. So Adam Jones hitting the long home run here of Matt Moore. Foul back, 0-2. His second home run off Moore in his career, and that gives him 9 out of 19 against Matt Moore in his career.
And you wonder why, Matt Moore not having a very good outing here. 9 runs for Baltimore so far and 3 1/3, and the bullpen is still quiet. The reason for that, Matt Moore needs to pitch.
Yeah.
He had the 1 inning against the Indians, the 1 turn, came back early. Detroit only got 2 innings. This guy needs to pitch. He needs to throw pitches. And so taking a lot of times a starting pitcher with an outing like this would already be out of the game.
Well, Cesar Ramos was up for a little bit last inning, but they were on their way to 3 more runs. Not quite there yet. It was 5-1 going into that inning, so you still got a game. There's a strike, and you might think about running a guy in there, but they come up with 3, and through the first 3 he'd made 65 pitches.
Yeah.
So he needs more than that. I think you're right on point there.
Well, think about if he were to be pulled already, you're going into your next start having your last couple of outings were 65 pitches through 3, 80 some in the start against the Tigers at 2, and then 11 again. You're going back 2.5, 3 weeks before you actually threw a regular game with a lot of ups and downs and a lot of pitches.
And 1 to foul the other way out of play by Wieters.
Guys, he's really, by his body motion, he's really battling through this game as far as trying to stay in this thing and make good pitches.
And a base hit. Soft liner over short into left. Change up, and Wieters is aboard with his second hit.
He knows he needs to work, and that's a great point, BA. And he's got to fight through this and try to make some good pitches and, keep the game as however close he can and get literally some work in. And to your point, without belaboring it, but now that's 9-1, you can't really knock somebody down now.
Too late.
It's too late. You passed that point about 4 runs ago.
Yep. And the problem is now they're starting to cover pitches that they shouldn't.
Exactly.
Like right there, Wieters, that changeup, and he's able to just lean out there and flip that ball into left field. Those balls should never be hit like that if they're made aware of the pitch on the inner half, and they haven't been.
Well, Pierce the same thing though in the third on that 0-2 pitch. That pitch was away.
They're just it's a comfortable group, and it's too late. Like you said, it just is too late.
Yeah, Gary Cedars from back there, the home plate umpire, and the chief, the crew chief here. I mean, he probably wouldn't allow it at this point. He would definitely, it would be troublesome.
Yep.
One ball, 2 strikes.
So the Jason Hamill one. Did you see that one, BA?
Yeah, we talked about that the other night. It didn't make any sense to run him at all.
Yeah, with that breaking ball.
Yeah, with a slider.
I mean, have some court awareness.
2-2.
Some court
I mean, like
awareness.
I told,
fired in it.
Well, it's a day game. It's a day game. You'll learn.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah, no, I don't think we've had a day game. I haven't jumped in with you guys in a day game. You come out of bed swinging.
Right. You don't know how right you are.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, enough of that.
I'm telling Dwayne, I got up this morning, fired off to the gym, and you would not believe
ready to go.
the workout that went down.
Yeah. It was,
I have no doubt.
I left a couple of machines in my wake.
He's like, yes.
And then you come right here and you're ready to go.
I saw the way you came in tonight. Swing and a miss. Valencia is out on strikes. That takes care of Baltimore. It's 9-1 Baltimore. Been a long day for Matt Moore through 4. Made a little over 80 pitches so far, so at this point he's getting his work in. In the game today and all season long, Tires Plus donates $100 to the Pediatric Cancer Foundation for every Tampa Bay Rays home run televised on Sun Sports. Then Zobrist will lead off for the Rays, then Kelly Johnson and Evan Longoria. Up. Well, what you'd like to see here is Moore get enough work to maybe find his groove again. And on the offensive side, Zobrist takes the pitch for a strike. Kelly Johnson up next. You'd love to see Kelly Johnson after that little back issue back a couple of days, and you'd like to see him then get back into sync at the plate.
Yeah, some of the swings that we've seen from Kelly after the couple of games that he sat out have not been as smooth and free and easy as we've seen in the past. It looked a little mechanical, a little clunky.
Yep. Well, a back can do that too.
You're doggone right.
You know, and the Rays are the Rays are awfully careful about that they don't want people to come back too soon. That's part of the issue that they've talked about in regard to David Price. And Kelly, with some tightness in his back, the Rays were saying, well, he's available if we need him. Sometimes he is, and sometimes he's not. You know, from a manager's point of view, he's not want to give away a lot of information. There's a drive. Wow. Zobrist hits this one way deep into the seats, and out of here, his 4th home run. Well, Ben starting to really heat up now.
Well, you saw that yesterday. The 3 hits that he had, where he hit them, how he hit them, and that gives you all the indications that he's seeing the ball well and has a good approach. And look at him sit back and wait on that breaking ball. Let it come to him and then destroy it.
There's Kelly Johnson taking a cut.
Now that's the other thing you'd like to see this Rays offense do is put a little scare into Baltimore. Down 9-1, now 9-2. Make this game interesting. And they're perfectly capable. They've had success in the past off Tillman.
Yes, they have. They've especially had success against him in Baltimore. They have really rolled up some numbers against him up there.
And if you look at his splits this year, on the road, Chris Tillman is 4-0 with a 2-3. At home, he's 1-2 with a 5-3.
Yep.
So it's not just the Rays that are tuning him up at Camden Yards.
Foul ball back. Johnson fouling a fastball at 93. Rays got a run in the 2nd. They have another run in the 4th. It's fouled straight back. The Orioles came out aggressive. They have runs in every inning so far. Rays have been out hit 11-3 and they trail 9-2. Kelly strikes out. Changeup. So 1 away here in the 4th inning. Love is in the air at Tropicana Field, as we so often see. Fans have the opportunity to renew their vows on field after the Rays game on Saturday, June 15th. Couples can purchase special wristbands, get a Rays champagne flute, come down to the field and renew I-do's. Visit RaysBaseball.com/renew your vows for more information. Evan Longoria in the batter's box. Taps this one foul. 1-1. Evan went the other way toward the right field corner for a 2-base hit in the 2nd. That led to a run for the Rays and made it 5-1 at the time. Two and one. Two balls, 2 strikes. Jones makes the catch. 2 gone. Towering fly ball there. Now James Loney. slipping away from Tillman. The curveball way high. Boston leads the Angels 4-2 in the bottom of the fourth at Fenway. David Ortiz has hit his 13th home run. A 3-run shot for the Red Sox today. That's a strike. Albert Pujols has hit his 10th for the Angels.
How about James Loney with 7 home runs?
7 home runs and a pretty healthy slugging percentage, among the top 10 in the league.
That's what Joe Madden had suspected all along. He said, listen, if I leave this kid alone, let him take his approach to the plate, you know, the power, a couple of home runs they're going to come just by the nature of his swing and how strong he is. We see him during batting practice launching balls when he wants to.
Chopper to the right side. Davis underhanded toss to Tillman. That'll do it for the Rays. They get a run on the home run by Ben Zobrist. We're headed into the 5th inning. It's 9-2 Baltimore.
To 2 as we head to the 5th inning. A lot of people have been asking about David Price, and tomorrow's another step in the process for the Rays Cy Young Award winner, as he will throw a little bit more extended bullpen than he did last time, and this time he'll sit down and rest in between, almost simulating an inning of work. And then if all goes well after tomorrow, the next step is a simulated game with live hitters, and then beyond that, as you guys mentioned, there'll probably be about 3 rehab starts. So that's the plan for now for the Rays lefty. Tomorrow's another step in the process, guys.
Well, we'll see how that goes. Of course, without saying, a very big part of the Rays rotation to get him back and on track. 5th inning underway. Steve Pearce goes after the first one and lifts a high foul back and out of play.
That's always the big adjustment when you're coming back from an injury, to simulate those innings where you go out and you throw and then you sit down for a few minutes and have to go back out and re-warm up. It's one thing to go out and throw a 30, 40, 50 pitch bullpen all at once. You know, you're warm, everything's loose, and you finish it, but then you go 15, 20, sit, another 15, 20, sit. It's a good indicator on what you're going to have to do during the game, and a big step.
Well, and after that, then the Rays are talking about the need for the rehab starts.
And when you factor in the simulated game, it's almost 4 rehab starts, because that simulated game, you'll treat it like the same thing.
Pick up there by Escobar, moving to his left, but by the time he gets up and makes the throw, Pearce is safely in with his 3rd hit of the day.
Well, Steve Pearce, you don't think of him as a burner, but from the right side, and this ball hit kind of hard. Escobar doesn't waste a whole lot of time getting up and throwing, and he beats it out. That was impressive, getting up the line.
Alexi Casilla fouls this one up the right side, out of play. 12 hits now for Baltimore, and Cesar Ramos is up again in the bullpen. The pitch count up to 88 right now on Matt Moore. This one into the dugout. 0-2.
Guys, that's the one that I'm worried about. I mean, a little higher,
yeah,
and a little later swing by Alexi, and I'd be screaming like Hawk Harrelson on The Perfect Game, going, Alexi!
Well, you've got hey, you've got a little interference going down there.
I do. I got some blockers.
Yeah,
I got some blockers here, and I duck quick. You know, BA, you remember ducking quick sometimes after you threw some pitches. You remember?
Hey, let me tell you.
No, did I?
Hey, listen, a lot of
wrong.
No. A lot of times I didn't even have time to duck. It was a white blur, and you just wore it.
Ground ball, nice backhand stop by Escobar, out at second. And on the exchange, the ball pops away from Zobrist, but they get the out at second base, and a very impressive pickup by Escobar.
You see him making a bid for a base hit through the hole. Escobar showed his range to the left on the previous play. Now here heading to the right. Nice feed too.
Nick Markakis choking up on the bat a little bit against Moore.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than releasing a pitch into the plate and having a ball come screaming back. I mean, because you have no time to react, and you end up making sounds that don't go up very far in the man meter. You know, they're squeals. You know, they're just not. It's not cool. Not to mention the guy's on base somewhere.
Yeah, but it's very similar than when we were talking about the brushbacks as a hitter, when you're leaning in and then you get that brushback pitch, and you're all of a sudden you become very childish. You're like, oh man, then it just changes your whole world.
Yes, and sometimes you hear those and you're not even hit by it.
No, totally. That's the ones that you're not hit by. Yeah, that's the ones where it misses you, but you felt like it was gonna hit you.
I got you. And a cut and a miss. Markakis is out on strike. 6 strikeouts for Matt Moore. Here 2 outs in the 5th inning on what has been a disappointing day for Matt Moore. And so fellas, this is a point where he's just going to make the most of a bad situation and take what positive he can from this, and that basically is work.
Well, that's what he needs to do. He needs to get that pitch count up. He needs to have the up and down sitting in the dugout. And then after this game is over, he needs to assess on what went wrong again. And maybe it is. Maybe, he's going to say, look, I was just struggling with my release point. It's not quite there. That's where his next side session becomes extremely important, because that's the only time that you're able to get the work in. You know, it's not like a hitter that can go in the cage or off the tee and work every day. You get that one side session, you know, to go out there and get some real live work in, and those become very important in trying to fix mechanical issues.
But I will say, BA, looking even at the splits of balls to strikes in his 96 pitches now, he's been around the zone.
Yes.
He's made certain good. These guys, when we go back and look at this point right now, 12 hits, I'm going to tell you that probably 8 of them have been decent pitches. And then they just were ready to hit. They were out there. They're leaning out over the plate, and they went opposite field. They pulled them. You know, they were just hitting pitches.
Yeah. Well, you know, early in the game, a couple of those balls were down and out over the plate, but it was right into the swing of Adam Jones. You know, he tried to J.J. Hardy. We had seen him beat him with a fastball out over the plate, up in the zone above those hands, because he holds those hands so low. Well, then he comes back to that pitch with 2 strikes. Doesn't have the height that he wants, and he smokes that ball to center. You know, then you think about the Machado. The pitch is off the plate away, but it's got enough elevation that he just strokes it to right field. It's just been a mistake here and a mistake there. But you're right. He has thrown, as far as the breakout goes, over 70% strikes, but he's been wild within the zone. And you know, you combine that with the fact that you've got these hitters very comfortable at the plate.
Yes,
it makes for a long day.
And compared to the Detroit start, where I noticed and that the command was definitely off.
Yeah,
and there was walks, and then he had to come back, down the middle and stuff like that.
Yeah, this is one of those rare games where Matt Moore, not hurting himself at the walk, is having a bad outing. You don't see it very often.
Zobrist handling the pop off the bat of Machado. Base hit, and the man left. Bottom of the fifth coming up, 9-2 Baltimore. We're headed into the home half of the fifth inning. Time for the Just For Men Auto Stop Foolproof Stat. We'll take a look at the Baltimore rankings in the American League when it comes to their offense. Impressive right across the board. Runs, all of those things below it. Home runs, double slugging percentage converted into runs. Desmond Jennings misses the off-speed pitch. Bottom of the fifth underway.
And they're another offense that's getting production all the way through. They've got 6 guys in their lineup, not today, but 6 guys potentially in their lineup, 30-plus RBIs each.
Yep.
That's danger.
Well, that leads to a lot of big innings as we discuss what the Rays have done. These teams in so many ways mirror each other. You figure, at least coming out of spring training, you figure the Rays rotation might have had greater expectations. But there's so many similarities, and the lineups are pretty well spread out. They've been productive. They put the ball into play. Fewer strikeouts. Broken bat. The ground ball to third. Machado whips the throw across the diamond. One away.
They play defense.
Yes, they do.
This team right here, very good defensively, right at the top of the league. Rays the same way.
Roberts.
And even guys, their diversity, I think, should be noted too, because today you've got the lefty lineup for Buck Showalter with Pierce, Casilla, Valencia. We kind of do the same thing with our diverse lineup, especially this year. We were able to do that.
One to count on Ryan Roberts. Well, that's right down Joe Madden's alley when it comes to versatility and what he can do mixing and matching with a lineup. 151 different lineups last year. And he started on a very similar pace this year. These are interesting managers if you compare and contrast them, because they're both very involved in the game, but their approaches are a little different in terms of how they get the preparation done and what they expect. But they're both very thorough.
Don't get caught too often surprised by anything.
Jones coming in for this sky fly ball, and Roberts is the second out. Well, Buck Showalter, from the time he first surfaced as a big league manager with the Yankees, and then Arizona, Baltimore, of course, very detailed. And you know as much as anyone, BA, because you played for him. You were in the clubhouse when he ran the clubhouse as a manager. You know, he did a great job in Texas. Everywhere he's gone, he's made sure that the homework is done.
You know, and that's why it doesn't surprise me when he finally has some guys in this lineup that can run a little bit, why their stolen base percentage is so high. I mean, you know, when he puts those things on, or when he wants a guy to run, he understands the matchup. Everything is going to play out in his favor. That's what I mean. Listen, I used to get a ton of pickoffs or close plays, you know, controlling the running game in the National League, and a lot of it had to do with Buck Showalter. He would watch the guy at first base with the lead, and if their head left the pitcher's mound a little bit too early, as I started my leg kick, he would put the pickoff play on. And it was about a year into us working together that when I would look in for a sign and I'd get the pick by the catcher, you were literally coming set going, there's an out. Or it was going to be really close.
Yep.
Because he would call it from the bench, and we would nail it almost every time. And that's, again, his attention to detail.
Molina strikes out. 1, 2, 3 go the Rays. Through 5, 9-2 Baltimore.
The concept of take your son or daughter to work day, right? Well, you're going to want to stick around today after the post-game show. Our brand new Inside the Rays debuts. It's called Game Day at the Trop. We take you behind the scenes. Everybody wants to know how many beer kegs we go through, right? How many hot dogs we sell. We tell you all that and more. Take you through the entire Game Day presentation, from the grounds crew to the behind the scenes. And I guess what's really interesting to me, guys, and what I learned watching some little tidbits of this show is how much work actually goes on after the game. This place is buzzing behind the scenes, getting ready for the next day.
All right, Kelly. Stay with us, Kelly. Wanted to ask you a question in a moment here as Cesar Ramos delivers his first pitch, and it's down. Kelly, we're looking forward to that feature because it's a little different approach to the operation here. But you mentioned at the outset you were interested in how many kegs they go through. Have you found out yet?
I haven't. It's going to be a little surprise. My breath has been held.
Well, she's going to have to add one for the one we got up here with us, Dwayne.
Oh, I like that. I'll join you later.
So,
Plus one.
So you've got one. Now the truck has one too. Zobrist takes care of this. Hardy is out of there. Yeah, that'll be an interesting look behind the scenes here at Tropicana Field on game day.
Everything that, and we talked about it was either yesterday or the day before, talked about the production. Just getting this product out to the homes on TV and all the behind the scenes is so fascinating. Same thing with running a stadium and everything moving seamlessly and food availability and everything else. All that stuff is, it's fascinating to watch how they do it. They got to do it every single day.
That's right. Everybody does it with a smile, just like our production.
At least when the lights go on.
Strike the count to Adam Jones here with Ramos in the game. Moore worked 5. He gave up 12 hits, 9 runs, 8 earned. Struck out 6, walked 1, a couple wild pitches. He threw 100 pitches and gives way to Cesar Ramos. Well, the best thing out of this day for Matt Moore is 100 pitches.
Yep. Yep, he was able to stay out there, get those pitches in, get the ups and downs in between innings. You hope that he feels in his mind that he's closer to finding that consistent release point where he's able to go out and dominate.
Base hit through the right side. That's the 3rd hit for Adam Jones. So with a man on, 1 out, Chris Davis is headed to the plate.
Guys, a lot of times we talk about 5-tool players, and they use that very loosely. I think almost too much. Adam Jones truly is the rare 5-tool player.
Chris Davis waves and he misses. Well, he can hit as his 300 average test coming into this, and he can hit with power.
We saw that,
and that's a difficult combination sometimes.
Well, it is, because a lot of the power guys, they are really just taking huge hacks all the time. They run up those big strikeout numbers, and the average suffers. You see that all the time. But to have that combination is something else. And then you talk about his speed and his defense. His throwing arm is strong.
Very rare.
Yep. Touch on even what Chris Davis is doing with where his average is.
Yeah,
and the
345
power
to start the game.
Right. Although we've seen the Rays really pitch him tough. Some of his swings, not what we saw earlier in the year. But like Aresta said, you're going to go through those little stretches from time to time. You play 162 games of anything, you're going to have some bad stretches.
Well, here's the deal. You want to talk about rare? Chris Davis is the only hitter in the Orioles lineup today who has failed to either score a run or drive home a run.
There you go.
And here's the guy who's leading the league in home runs, 2nd in hitting and 2nd in runs batted in, tops in slugging percentage. One-two count. Fouls it back.
Yeah, and if you're looking at this score around the league, 9-2 in the 6th, you're like, okay, how much did Davis play a part in that? Nothing.
That's right.
Well, that speaks to the depth of this lineup.
Yeah, that's exactly what we were discussing earlier. And comparing these two clubs, the Rays lineup has been productive top to bottom. Same thing for the Orioles. 2-2.
You got to admit that Chris Davis is really kind of worked on his craft, because I remember when he came up with the Texas Rangers, and obviously powerful, but you know, major holes in his swing, especially in the outer half, a lot of strikeouts. They pretty much gave up on him and traded him over to Baltimore, and he's figured it out at a great pace.
He's out on strikes for the second time. Fastball from the lefty got him.
Well, you remember when he was so hot in that first series against the Rays. The only guy that had a chance against him was Cesar Ramos.
That's right.
Able to break a couple of his bats, those fastballs in. And this one, he's able to ride right by him.
So Davis 0 for 4 in this game. He does not have a hit in this series. He's 0 for 11 in the series. That's how the Rays have pitched him. 1 strike to count to Wieters. Two strikes. Rays won the first game 2-1. They shut out the Orioles 8-0 last night. They've shut out one of the Orioles hitters in the lineup today, Chris Davis, giving up 9 runs to the rest of it. Swing and a miss. Wieters strikes out. We go to the bottom half of inning 6. It's 9-2 Baltimore. Baseball on Sun Sports. Brought to you by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Visit your Honda dealer for great lease and finance deals on fuel-efficient Hondas. By Checkers, feast on. And by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most innovative lineup ever. Shop at ChooseNissan.com. Rays continuing this series against the Orioles. Boston in tomorrow. They'll be followed by Kansas City. Yanel Escobar takes a pitch outside. Fouled out to the first baseman Davis his first time. High popper coming straight back, and that's out of play. 1-1.
It's going to be an interesting couple of weeks for the Rays. We've got Boston coming into town, Kansas City, who really took it to them out in Kansas City. A little revenge on that ball club. They're in for 4, and then on the road, Boston and New York. 4-gamer up in New York. Big stretch.
One and 2 the count to Escobar. And the Rays back home from that. They have the Blue Jays and the Tigers coming to the Trop. And a quick trip over to Houston, and then the homestand in early July with the White Sox, Twins in Houston, and leading up to the All-Star break. 2-2 now to Escobar. So the Rays have a lot of home dates leading right up to the All-Star game. So it is an opportunity for the Rays to make a little hay. And they've done that. They've gone to 19-10 at home now.
Yeah.
Coming into this game today against Baltimore. Things haven't worked out for the Rays today, but the trend has been very good here at home. Escobar strikes out. 7 in a row, retired by Tillman. On Sunday, June 16th, when the Rays take on the Royals. Kids 14 and under receive Jeremy Hellickson headphones presented by Metro PCS while supplies last. Listen to all your favorite music with these, including the Imagination Movers, who will perform a post-game concert that day. Visit RaysBaseball.com for more info. And Kelly giving them a quality check there.
Yeah.
And Alex Cobb testing them out, making sure they're all right. And they are. The reviews have been good. 1-1 the count. Kelly has taken over Todd's computer and taking notes, I hope. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Two and 2. Joyce out on strikes, so that's 3 consecutive strikeouts for Tillman.
And Tillman, not a big strikeout guy with the changeup, and he's had a very good one today. Look at how he bores that down in the zone. He's got a number of swings and misses on that, and a number of strikeouts.
You know, we talked about Matt Moore and using this now as a work day to get 100 pitches in. Well, Tillman's in an interesting situation as well. He's got a big lead, and if he gets ahead of a guy, it gives him an opportunity maybe to approach a hitter a little differently than he would ordinarily.
You could absolutely do that. You know, a lot of guys, you try to stay away from that because you don't want to get out of your game plan and allow this team to climb back into the game or, you know, rough you up. So there are certain opportunities that you'll take from here and there. You know, you get into an 0-2 count, you'll try something, but overall you try to stick to that game plan. But yeah, he's gone to that changeup a number of times today with the 2 strikes after the hitters worked the count on him and been successful.
Yeah, and then recently, at least, his percentage of changeups not very high in his outings.
They have been effective today, though. But you're right. That's way down the list.
That's why it's not even fair right now, because if I'm a hitter, it's 9-2. Right. And you know his repertoire. Changeup's not the big one. I'm not worried about it. And he's throwing me a changeup, 3-1, 3-2. You know, I think he threw Yunel Escobar 3-2 changeup. Or at least I think it might have been a 2-2. And there's no way I'm looking changeup there.
No.
It's 9-2.
Well, you know what else is? Listen, we talked about the fact that really the light went off for him last July when he got called up. He went 9-3 last year, 5-2 this year, 14-5, ERA 3.5, and 3 of those 5 losses have come against the Rays. And you go back over his career, 9 starts, he's 1-5 with a 4.99. So you know what? He better start doing something different against this team. And he's made the changeup a little higher priority pitch. And he's had success.
So you trying to tell me it was time for a change?
I would 1-5 with a 5 is time for a change.
See another 3-2 pitch. Zobrist extending this at bat with 2 outs and the bases empty.
Isn't that the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result?
That's right. There's ball 4.
So how was your night last night, BA?
Uneventful. Uneventful. I was saving up for this morning because Sunday morning cardio workout. That's what it is. And that, you head right out and go to town. Other than that, I'm resting up.
Did you mean by that, Orestes, that he maybe just did the same thing last night?
I was going to say the insanity thing got me, and it just threw me too.
These are the thoughts I come up with on the stairwell.
That's awesome.
Kelly Johnson fouling it right back into the screen.
No, last night was a little grill out action, which, by the way, the apron's going to come in handy.
Oh, yeah.
Because I wear the grill out all summer long. And there was a grill out action and a awesome hockey game. Are you kidding me?
The Blackhawks.
The Blackhawks and the Kings double OT. How about the Kings? They score the tying goal with 9.4 left.
A little question about that?
Maybe.
Yeah.
But it made it for a much longer game, which I enjoyed.
One strike the count on Kelly. Ball popping away from Wieters. And down to second. Zobrist beats the play in. Well, it might be 9-2, but almost instinctively Zobrist took off as that pitch popped away from the catcher Wieters.
Now watch his read right here. Starts back, sees that ball, gets away from him, and turns it up. Wieters makes an attempt to get him, but been able to beat the throw. Keep playing.
So pass ball charged to Wieters. His 4th this year. Off the plate in, 2-1. Evens the count. The curveball that dropped in. Texas leads Toronto 6-4 in the top of the 8th at Toronto. It's inside. Count is full. Three-two. And a liner up the alley into right center field. That's going to get Zobrist home. Johnson holds it first with a base hit. The Rays get their 3rd run. It's 9-3. Kelly Johnson gets an RBI single. That's good to see.
Now, you talked about it, Dwayne. Kelly Johnson getting his swing back, getting him going again. Well, there you go. Pitch elevated. Kelly Johnson puts a nice swing on it, shoots that ball into right center field, and Ben Zobrist, who, heads up, getting down to second base on that pass ball, that allows him to score.
Well, as you referenced, you keep playing the game. Here's Evan Longoria. The tapper fell. Well, here's the thing about it. It was 9-2 coming in. You're going to run now. If Evan hits a long one, it's a 4-run game with 3 innings left.
Right.
Anything could happen.
That's right. You just never stop playing. And we've seen this Rays offense explode with big innings. I mean, this is not out of the realm of possibility.
Upstairs, 1-1. Tillman up around 104, 105 pitches.
He used to be in these kind of situations in that dugout. You know, they'd be talking like, "Hey, let's give him a finish. Let's make him nervous. Let's force him to go to their closer. You know, whatever you can do to tighten the game up." And sometimes it happens.
Tillman takes a strike. He's down 1-2. We saw Darren O'Day loosening down the left field line in the bullpen for the Orioles.
We saw the Orioles do that to the Rays in Baltimore. Rays had that big lead, 12-4, something like that. Before you know it was 12-10.
Yep.
And you're having to go to the back end of the bullpen, and nerve-wracking time.
Breaking ball that dropped low. 2-2. His high pitch count 113. That was his last outing in 7 innings over in Houston. 107 pitches right now. 2-2. And a tapper foul forcing another pitch.
And look what he goes right back to. That changeup. Evan, that was a good pitch right there. And Evan able to spoil it and buy himself another chance.
Comes up on Machado, who makes the throw to second for the force on Johnson. Rays pick up a run. We're through 6, 9-3 Baltimore.
As we head to the 7th inning. Before the game, we had Andrew Friedman, Executive Vice President of Baseball Operations, on. A lot of people have been asking about Will Myers. Well, guys, he's been tearing it up lately. Really, in the last 16 games, his numbers are ridiculous. 380 with 8 home runs, a lot of those tape measure shots, and 27 runs batted in. On the year, he's up to 12 home runs and 52 RBIs. And the Rays fans kind of got into a frenzy because of a tweet that Jim Bowden sent out, the former GM, currently member of the national media. He sent out a tweet saying, expect Will Myers up with the Rays sometime in the next 10 days. And before the game, in our pregame show on Rays Live, Andrew Friedman said, we keep things so close to the vest, there's no way Jim Bowden knows what we're thinking right now. Certainly, he's going to make an impact sometime. It may or may not be in the next 10 days, but don't necessarily count on it. The Rays like to show their patience. Back to you.
All right, Todd, thank you. A lot of changes here for the Rays as this game swings into the 7th inning. Luke Scott takes over at first base. Kelly Johnson now in at second base. Sean Rodriguez takes over at shortstop. And Sam Fold is in the game in left field. On the count to Valencia. There's Sam Fold.
Hey, you wonder where that stuff comes from. You know?
There's a lot of it.
Yeah,
wherever it comes from.
Hey, just make stuff up. That's why I don't tweet. You're too tempting. Breaking news.
Hey, how about this?
Yeah, right.
And a strike, 2-2. Well, one thing's for sure, the Rays are very patient about that. There are practical implications about that, and there's also the idea that if they bring a player up, they don't want Myers in this case to sit around.
No, right. That's absolutely right. You want him to play every day, get all the reps and at-bats that he can.
That slow curve, Valencia is called out on strikes.
Yeah, and if you did bring him up right now, where's he going to fit?
Well, that's the deal. You're not going to have him as an extra player. So you're going to have to find playing time for him, and then you're going to have to make a major move here.
Right.
And guys, one more thing that was made mention by Andrew Friedman was that the kid Will Myers has had some problems with right-handed pitching this year. The splits haven't been all that great until recently. So he's been raking left-handed pitching at a torrid pace, but not so much on right-handed. So do you want this guy learning at the major league level with major league pitchers, showing him up the righties, and then him trying to figure that out, or should he just go ahead and work this out at AAA level, get comfortable, and then come up, due to the fact that there's not a necessity right now?
Yeah, there's a lot to like about him, but you're right about that. Two areas, the contact situation was significant. Number of strikeouts and handling right-handed pitching. And, there are a lot of good hitters who have struck out, and he might be one of those guys who, throughout the course of his career, are going to strike out a few times. But you'd like to hone that as much as you can.
Fine-tune it and get him comfortable against righties, all of that. That's right. This is a perfect opportunity to do it because there is not a need. And guess what? Majority of the starting pitchers in the big leagues, a lot of right-handed starting pitchers.
That's right.
And if a guy is struggling right on right, they will find the weakness and exploit it. And that's something you just do not want to put him through.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. They want him to play regularly up here, and they don't want to have to send him down again. Roberts, a nice play to get Pierce. I mean, they want him to be ready to come up here and stay when he gets up here.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You don't want him on a yo-yo. When Will Myers gets called to the big leagues, it's a situation where you want him up here to stay, never look back, be done with it. And so until that time comes and they deem him ready, he'll be working on his game in Durham.
We saw Andrew and Matt there. They just realized they were on it, became very studious all of a sudden.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Very serious. So Alexi Casilla, the pitch is a strike. Two outs. Base is empty. One and one. We're just the opposite. When we know we're on, we become non-studious.
And that leads to trouble.
Would you say almost chaotic would be the...
Oh, why not? Yeah, just let it roll.
Listen,
foul ball 1-2.
From time to time, we are not afraid to go off-roading, if you will. And I will.
Yeah, it's all terrain.
Yes.
Straight ahead.
Yes. That's why, Dwayne, that's why I ended up buying that Ford Raptor, because you could take it off.
There you go.
And it handles well.
Nope.
Sometimes it puts you in
Doesn't
some tough
surprise
spots.
me at all.
And,
But you managed to get out of them.
So far.
1-2 into left center field. Pole's going to cut it off. A turn at first by Casilla. Big turn, but he hangs on with a single.
Well, I think Alexi Casilla had his mind on double the whole way. Nice job by Sam to cut that out and get it in quickly, because he is rip roaring. That ball just hung up out over the plate. Yeah, there was no doubt he was going for 2. Sam Fuld put an end to that.
"14 Baltimore hits. Nick Markakis. Markakis shoots it toward right center field. Jennings cuts it off. Casilla round third. They're going to wave him home. He'll score without a play on the double by Nick Markakis. And the Orioles add another run. It's 10-3.
Well, how about Casilla? Was stopped from getting a double himself, and now with 2 outs and running on contact is able to come all the way around on the Markakis double. And pitch just up and out over the plate, and that's what Baltimore has done today. A lot of extra base hits on mistakes by Rays pitchers. Need a chin strap for that helmet, Alexi.
Just won't stay on. Machado.
Were you one of those guys, Dwayne, when you were playing at a younger age? Were you one of the guys who
was a long time ago.
would knock it off? Did they wear helmets back then?
No, we didn't have helmets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, we were men. We didn't have badges or helmets.
And you left your glove out in the field for the other guy?
Yeah, that's
perfect.
Pitch is down. Yeah, that knocking the helmet off, that wasn't too good.
That was bootleg.
Yeah.
That was false hustle is what it was.
Yeah.
We've all done it. But it is a bootleg move.
Molina stops bouncing around. We'll pick it up. Run home. Casilla singled with 2 outs. Markakis doubled him home. A little tap. Ramos, the quick throw to first to retire Machado. A run, a couple of hits, and a man left. Time for the Hyundai 7th inning stretch. Afternoon. Seventh inning stretch. Things haven't worked out exactly the way the Rays had it planned. Matt Moore worked 5, charged with 9 runs, 8 earned. Cesar Ramos a couple innings in relief. Touch for a run. Chris Tillman has worked the first 6 innings for Baltimore. The Rays 3 runs off him on 4 hits, and Darren O'Day will be the new Baltimore pitcher.
Good numbers all around. On for the 29th time, 27 innings, a strikeout per. ERA of 1.67. You know, he's going to come down. He's got that really low arm angle, tough on righties, submarine style. Not quite Kent to Colby, but close.
So Darren O'Day out there. Luke Scott's going to lead off. So Luke Scott will lead off, then Jennings, followed by Roberts. Was on a couple times in the game last night. Had that big triple with the bases loaded in the 5th when the Rays scored 5. He takes a pitch outside from O'Day. One and one. Tillman made 109 pitches, 5 strikeouts, gave up 3 runs, 2 earned on the 4 hits. And Luke strikes out. Wave and a miss.
That's so tough when a guy coming from the arm angle of Darren O'Day is able to elevate the ball. You talk about seeing this thing just come riding up and it just doesn't stop.
Jennings, he looks at a strike.
Hey guys, here's a weird thing that I can't really figure out that's happened with DJ this year as to why. That stolen base attempt and throw out on the 2nd inning is a 6th caught stealing. And he's 7 of 13 after 31 of 32 last year. A couple has been bad jumps, but I'm really, I'm kind of baffled that he's been caught stealing that many times.
You know what's interesting that you say that, because we were talking yesterday about Desmond Jennings, the 10 games since he had been moved down in the order by Joe Madden. His on-base percentage in those 10 games, and that's what we talked about. Get him on base more. Sure. The threat of the stolen base, the fact that he will steal bags. 421 was his on-base percentage in those 10 games. 0 stolen bases. Exactly. 0 for 2. So not only was he still not attempting, but for whatever reason, not getting the jumps. That slide that you saw, he missed the front edge of the bag. That's what allowed Casilla to whip around and make that tag. And just not has been nearly productive, because you're right, last year, I mean, his percentage was sky high, never got thrown out.
Well, you hear guys going into hitting slumps and fielding slumps and base running slumps.
That's what you're seeing.
And that's the key. I think the mental side of that. A guy has to be confident, and there's nothing other than success to breed confidence. And if you run into a little trouble, then it works the other way.
It's not always about elite speed. There's a lot of guys that have elite speed that are not good base runners or base stealers.
O'Day gets the call around the knees there for strike 3, 2 up, 2 down.
Yeah, there's a technique that goes into it, and you're right. It's like anything else. If you're getting bad jumps and you're getting thrown out, you're starting to think about that. Now you're out there because it's a split-second deal. I mean, it's a math problem.
It's tough to think about. You see base runners who are very fast, but you can almost see them think as they get a lead at first. That guy's in trouble.
Yeah. You've got to get a nice feel, nice rhythm, and you're gone. You're off on the first movement, or whatever your key is on a particular pitcher to go, and you've got to be spot on. Any little hesitation, now the math starts to work against you.
Yep. Oh, 1 to count to Ryan Roberts.
I remember, and even your setup. I remember Tony Womack when going over to the National League teaching me, how to get a lead, and you kind of open up that right leg just a little bit, point to toe, to be able to just immediate crossover, and you're on your way. You're not crossing over the top of your body with a little hump in it. You just get going. Because I like to steal bags without the sign. That was my game.
It wasn't.
It was.
Is this at home? Is this in your own privacy of your own mind?
No, I have a couple of stolen bases, and both times I'd get over to third base. Brian Butterfield was our third base coach.
Yes.
I love
Butter. You love him. Is he not
he's
the best?
He was one of my coaches coming up. Man.
Oh, he's
outstanding.
Yes, he is. He is great. But I got over there, and of course I'm like, hey, what'd you think about that? And he's like, yeah, we never gave you the sign. We'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about
and then
that later.
It was later in the year, maybe the net, whatever. Steal second base again, beat the throw, make it over there. And I'm like, you had to like that one. He's like, yeah, you still don't know the sign. You're going to go over that again later. I'm not giving you the steal sign. You keep stealing.
We're going to talk about that later, Pete.
Yes. There wasn't much talking going on. A lot of listening on my part.
Well, I'm detecting a trend. 2-2 the count.
We get Mom on the horn and she'll confirm it for you.
Swing and a miss.
Sweet.
Roberts out on strikes. We're through 7. It's 10-3. Hello, Mrs. Anderson. Talking about what a great stolen base percentage he had last year. Here's a guy, Nate McLeod, with the Orioles. Now, he has stolen some bases in the past, but I'll tell you, this percentage is out of sight right there. 21 out of 22.
Hey, listen, this whole team steals bases at a high clip, but Nate McLeod, I mean, 21 out of 22. He's actually stolen his last 18 straight. Alexi Casilla has stolen his last 19 straight.
And McLeod had he had a couple of years in the minors. He stole 40 bases one year in the minor leagues, but he's not a guy who you would consider, you know, in the top 5 in terms of speed. He's just not that guy.
No.
But very successful running the bases.
That's the key. Casilla and McLeod can't touch. They cannot touch Jennings' speed.
Ground ball off the bat of Hardy up the middle and a base hit into center. It's the 4th hit allowed by Cesar Ramos. Well, that's something that we have to look forward to, a better stolen base percentage from Desmond Jennings.
It's coming.
You absolutely have to think that's true.
You do. And what was he, 7 out of 13?
Yeah.
6
7 out
caught
of
stealings?
13, yeah.
I mean, Baltimore has 8 as a team caught stealings.
Yeah, 48 steals
Wow,
coming
that's
into
a
this
great
game
point,
and
BA.
8
Yeah,
caught
that's
steals.
strong.
Adam Jones jammed a bit on the fastball and fouls it back. Strike 1.
Hey, Dwayne, I don't want to date you or anything like that. I mean,
Well,
as
good,
far as-
because I'm taken already.
I know, not that date.
Oh, I got you.
Talking about, you know, BA already 3 under the rug as far as the under the bus there with the gloves and the whole thing.
I got you.
Caesar's pitching. Caesar is pitching, and a 5-tool player is at the plate. And you were with the Houston Astros. Who was the best 5-tool player you might have seen?
Well, with them, it was Cedeno.
Exactly. Cesar Cedeno. How good was he?
Oh, you talk about great tools, and he truly could do all of that. And he was a guy, you'll recall when he first came up, there were a lot of comparisons to Willie Mays and Roberto Clemente. And you talk about that's why it's natural to do that. It's unfair to a young player to do that. But he had just great ability. There's no question about that. And was a big part of them for the first time ever going to the postseason.
Had about probably a good 5 or 6 years, and then it seemed like he just never, you know, got to the superstar level that they tagged him.
Yeah, those early years were really the greatest years that he put together, and there were some things that caught up with him in terms of injuries and all of that. But boy, when he first broke in, he was
something else,
something special.
Tall,
Absolutely.
strong, powerful, and incredible arm. I remember as a kid watching him play, and I was always in awe of Cesar Cedeno.
I'd love to chime into this conversation, but I'm still stuck on. That's good because I'm taken.
I know.
That is too good.
That was awesome.
Swing and a miss. Jones out on strikes. So the one thing the fans do get here, I guess, is the free pizza. 10 strikeouts. He's been waiting in the wings to do exactly that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, not too good today.
No, they wanted to cheer for something.
Here's Chris Davis. Well, one of the ironies of this game is that Davis is 0 for 4. He's 0 for the series. And the Orioles have 16 hits and 10 runs.
No, we've noticed that the swing is not the same swing that we saw in Baltimore and earlier this season here. He's been leaking a little bit early, has not been staying on that pitch away.
Pops it to the left side. Ryan Roberts into foul ground. He's got it. So 2 gone. Two outs with a runner at first. Matt Wieters on his way to the plate. Hey, here's a reminder. Take Dad out to the old ball game Sunday, the 16th. For Father's Day, get him a special gift as well. Purchase the Tampa Bay Times ticket tandem for any game June 14th through the 16th and get a Rays jersey apron. Perfect for the next family barbecue. Visit RaysBaseball.com/tandems for more info. Tap handled by Sean Rodriguez, who throws out leaders. No runs, a hit, and one man left. 10-3 Baltimore. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning here. The Rays are down 10-3. Jose Molina will face the left-hander Brian Mattis. Darren O'Day came in, worked 1 inning, and struck out the side. So here's Molina. Mattis on for the 29th time, 2-0.
Boy, he's really taken that bullpen role and thrived in it.
Molina fouls it away. How about this? Miami and the Mets. They're in the bottom of the 9th, tied 4-4. As if 20 innings wasn't enough last night. They went 20 innings.
Yeah.
Miami won that game 2-1 over the Mets. They're tied in the bottom of the 9th today. Molina lifts it into center. Jones coming straight in, but it's going to fall for a base hit. So Molina with a leadoff single collects hit number 5 off Baltimore pitching today. That will get Sam Fuld up there. Sam entered the game in left field in the 7th inning, inserted into the 9th spot. Mets just went out in the 9th, so the Marlins and the Mets are going to go to extra innings again after 20 last night. 1-0 the count to Sam. The Toronto Texas game went 18. How about that? You play 18. That's not the longest game of the day. A 1-ball, no strike count. 1-1. Texas beat Toronto today 6-4. There's a shot off the bat of Sam Fold. A little doubt about that one.
I mean, excuse me. Who was that? That ball was crushed. My goodness. Like just a hanger out over the plate. To the baseball, and that ball got hammered.
That ball has left the building. Down the exit.
Take that for a little brushback pitch that he threw. The first pitch was up and in at his head almost. And he's like, okay.
Strike the count, so Sam gave that one a ride, and the Rays now down 10-5. 1-1 the count on Matt Joyce. The Rays' second home run of the day. 66 for the year. First home run of the season for Sam Fold. Joyce pops it up. Wieters after it. So Machado is going to fall to the right of Wieters. Well, with the shift on, Machado tried to get over there, and Wieters trying to make up the difference. And boy, he went a long way from back of the plate.
He did, and Manny Machado should have had that ball easy. He was floating the whole way, not really going after it hard. Don't know if he had trouble picking it up, but that was a play that was up there so high for so long, and watching him run the whole way. That ball should have been caught. Hopefully the Rays can capitalize on that and continue to chip away at this lead here. For an interesting ending.
A broken bat, and a base hit in the center. So Joyce gets another chance, and he's aboard. So 3 straight hits off Mattis.
I'll tell you what, you're coming right back through the top part of this lineup. You got Zobrist coming up. Excuse me, Sean Rodriguez. Zobrist out of the game. You got a chance here to make this thing interesting.
Well, how about this? Lefties were hitting only 130 off Mattis with a home run. Fold hits a home run. Joyce follows with a broken bat base hit. Now here's Sean Rodriguez. Sam Fold hitting his first homer since May the 27th of 2011. Strike the count on Sean Rodriguez.
You know, he did it with style. That was a no-doubter. Not a wall scraper there. And Sean Rodriguez coming to the plate here, done most of his damage off lefties.
It's 1-1. Well, again, we're in a situation where a couple more runs and it really gets interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody out here in the 8th, and the Rays would have another inning to go as well. Strike 1 and 2. Ball now with 5 career home runs, and that was the second home run against a left-hander. Hopper shallow left. Hardy out, coming in. Pierce reaches up to make the catch, and he was not 100% sure what he was going to do with that one either.
Oh. I'll tell you what, they got these guys playing deep out there, and this ball popped up against this roof. How many times have we talked about visiting players having trouble with it? Almost overran it.
Kelly Johnson to strike at the knees. 102. Fastball 92. Fly ball into left off the fastball. Pierce over there for that one. So 2 outs. Boston has taken a 10-3 lead, bottom of the 7th inning on the Angels. Saltalamacchia has hit a couple of home runs. Numbers 7 and 8 on the year. Carp hit one. Ortiz hit the home run earlier. Evan Longoria. Pitch outside, a ball, no strikes. Tigers got a big lift from Jose Alvarez, the lefty out of Venezuela, who came up to pitch in the place of Anibal Sanchez. 1-1. And the Tigers beat Cleveland 4-1. The major league debut for Alvarez.
Retired 14 of the first 15 hitters he faced.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Through the hole. Joyce will go to second base. 2 runs home in the inning with 2 men on and 2 men out. And Luke Scott, who entered the game to play first in the 7th, will get another at bat here in the 8th. Has been better against lefties this year than righties. Well, let that swing.
Yeah, how about that? You would not suspect that at all, but you know what? Let's hope for at least another at bat. It continues. Get into one here.
Runs, 4 hits in the inning. Bounds it out of play. Strike 1. That's Tommy Hunter down in the bullpen. He's been very good in that role for the Orioles. Back over the screen, 0-2.
Two good fastballs that he went after, especially that second one, guys. That one was right out over the plate.
Joyce second, Longoria first. And a line drive, base hit into right. Joyce headed to the plate. Luke Scott drives in a run. Well, the Rays trying to make this one interesting. It's now 10-6. Longoria stopped at second on the RBI base hit for Scott.
Well, he just goes out and gets it. Good plate coverage there by Luke Scott. Well, right on the outside corner, and he pulls it with some authority. Out into right field. Now 10-6. 2 runners aboard. Tying run in the on-deck circle. How about that?
Time for the Metro PCS call to the bullpen. to make it a 4-run ball game, a 3-run 8th. Tommy Hunter will get the call from the bullpen. He pitched the 8th inning in Friday night's game. And Desmond Jennings steps in. The Rays with 2 men on, 2 men out, and the pitch is a strike call. Just 1 hit off Hunter, a home run. Fouled, out of play.
Think Tommy Hunter's ready for this situation? 98 right on the outside corner. I'll tell you what, another guy moving from the starting rotation into the bullpen and has adapted very well.
Outside. A ball and 2 strikes. Hunter just gotten better as he's gone along. Since the middle of April, his earned run average is under 1. And Jennings out on strikes. He could not hold up. And the Rays, who scored 3, lead 2. We're headed into the 9th. It's now 10-6 Baltimore.
Three runs in the 8th inning. We always call them the comeback kids, guys, right on Twitter at Sun Sports Rays. Never too early to start talking about tomorrow. Boston comes into town. Be sure to join us for the Rays Live pregame show, driven by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Alex Cobb, coming off a superb outing, will face the division-leading Red Sox. And postgame, guys, let's hope for that win. Comeback kids, right? Todd and Arrestus steering the ship as I gather clubhouse interviews. Hopefully everybody's happy tonight. And our Twitterless, Dwayne and BA, offer up a breakdown.
All right, Kelly, thank you very much. On to the 9th we go. Jamie Wright takes over on the hill. Moore worked 5. Cesar Ramos 3. And now Jamie Wright. '27th appearance for Jamie Wright. Ground ball. So grabbed at third by Ryan Roberts, and the throw to first takes care of Danny Valencia. 1 pitch, 1 out. Well, Pierce is due, but Dickerson will pinch hit for him. Chris Dickerson will bat.
Your attention, please. Pitching for Pete.
3 runs the Rays scored in the bottom of the 8th, all charged to Brian Mattis in 2/3 of an inning. Well, this lefty's coming into this appearance for Mattis with 6 of 46 against him. The Rays went 3 for 4 in the 8th against him for lefties. So figure that one out. 1 strike to count. Off the bottom of the screen, 0-2. Serving notice that they do not want to play 20 innings today. They've scored 4 in the 10th to take an 8-4 lead on the Mets. Dickerson slices it down the left field line. Foul. Angels batting in the 8th at Fenway, 10-3. The Red Sox leading in that one. It's 10-6. Baltimore leading the Rays. Yankees and the Mariners underway in Seattle. No score at the end of an inning. Beat the Blue Jays 6-4. A little low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rays in the bottom of the 9th. They'll lead off with Roberts, then Molina and Cole due up. Dickerson is out on strikes. Ran that ball right in on him and strikes him out. Reminder on that AT&T Twitter poll question: who'll lead the AL East at the All-Star break? You still have time to vote. TB1 Boston, TB2 New York, TB3 the Rays, or TB4 the Orioles. Alexi Casilla has had a productive day. A couple of hits, a couple of runs batted in, a run scored. 1-0. 2-1.
Trying to maximize or take advantage of his playing time. We saw him just, a bundle of energy out there today, running the bases hard. Productive day at the plate. How about that play on the Desmond Jennings attempted stolen base? Catching that ball.
A great play by Casilla.
Ripping back around there to make the tag. He has had quite the day all around.
Walks to keep the top of the inning going and gives us a chance to take a look at his play at second base.
Yeah, wrong side of the bag on the throw, but watch Casilla bail out Matt Wieters. The no-look reach-around tag. That is heads up. Reach-around.
So here's Nick Markakis. Garcia back at first base. And again over there. Garcia is 6 of 6 running.
You even saw right there from that camera angle, Casilla on his secondary lead already trying to time up Jamie Wright just in case he would go. I mean, quick break as Jamie started towards the plate. Obviously paying close attention. 6 for 6 this year. And I don't know how far back you have to go, but he's stolen his last 19 consecutive.
Distraction and more at first base. There he goes. Pitch is a strike, and the throw is going to be in time. He's out at second base. John Rodriguez, a nice pickup there on the receiving end. And they catch Casilla trying to steal. Bottom of the 9th inning coming, 10-6 Baltimore. Tampa Bay Rays and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Tampa Bay Rays. Rays come in for their final shot in the bottom of the 9th inning. Ryan Roberts, who has made the start at third today, goes after Tommy Hunter's first pitch and misses. A good slider, strike one.
That was the pitch that he was able to strike Desmond Jennings out to end the 8th. Starts out Ryan Roberts with it here in the 9th.
One and one. Chris Dickerson stays on to play left field after pinch hitting for Pierce. And a base hit right back to the middle. Roberts missed the opening slider and took the 97-mile-per-hour fastball right back through the middle.
Yeah, that was pretty. Nice swing by Ryan Roberts, staying right on that heater, using the middle of the field. and getting the Rays a leadoff base runner here as they try to make up the difference. 4 runs down. You got to start small.
Roberts aboard. Jose Molina at the plate.
Oh, and the Rays have accomplished one thing. Yeah, down early, big early. And now you've got the Oriole closer warming up.
Yeah, Jim Johnson has just started to throw down the left field line. Jose Molina pops it foul. That's going to carry back of the dugout. Strike one. There's the big right-hander, Jim Johnson.
And that's the goal. When you fall down big early like that, you know, how many times have we talked about the fact, you know, Joe Madden did not want to have to go to the back end of the bullpen, and he did because team's able to close some ground and press you a little bit.
Well, this was a 9-1 game at one point.
Yeah. Never quit. Keep playing hard. Put the pressure on. See what happens.
Strikes the count to Molina, who singled to start the 8th and rode home on the home run by Sam Cole. It's outside. Molina hitting .241 on the year. Stays alive, fouling that one into the screen. Molina checking with Gary Cedarstrom whether that pitch would have been a strike or not. Hunter has worked him away with cutting action. This one outside, a fastball. 2-2. Tillman worked 6, O'Day 1. Matters 2/3. Hunter came on to strike out Jennings. And into the 8th. Now the count is full. Missing with a couple of fastballs after Molina had fouled away a couple of those cutters. 3-2. And a popper up the right side into foul territory. Davis after it. Markakis can't get there. So Molina's still alive. Got him. A little action away.
At 90 miles an hour with some pretty good depth. Looked like it was a cutter that he just got on top of. Poured that pitch down like a really hard slider. And Jose not able to hold up. That's a tough pitch.
Here's Sam Fold. Strike one at the knees. Both teams double figures in the hit column. 16 hits for Baltimore, 10 for the Rays. Baltimore leading 10-6. Sam, a ground ball outside, backhanded by Hardy. They throw to second, out there. The call with Roberts arriving just after that little toss was scooped by Casilla.
Yeah, the only thought I had on that was Casilla on the bag, or did he get pulled off? You see him going to get this right here. Does that foot stay on long enough? like it did. Yep.
So Roberts forced for the second out. Sam aboard. Matt Joyce will now hit.
You called it BA because he has had himself a nice game, not just offensively, but the plays you alluded to before, and that play right there, he's been a factor.
Well, that's the thing.
Command is low.
You just don't know, when you're going to get that opportunity to play. And Lexi Garcia out there showing tons of energy, bringing it on both sides, offensively and defensively. Those are the kind of players that Buck Showalter demands to be on his roster. He wants to know that, listen, you may not be an everyday guy, but when I put you out there, I know what I'm going to get. Not necessarily in production, but in effort. Buck has to like what he sees to see it today.
Hunter behind Matt Joyce. And a strike. These two do have a history. Matt Joyce back on April 3rd connected on Tommy Hunter to give the Rays an 8-7 win right here at the Trop. Count goes to 2-2 now.
What do you do with that pitch? That's just filth. 92 with that kind of movement in and with depth.
A late break.
Yes.
Late cutter break. My goodness. And big break. I mean, that's not normal cutter. That's late slider break.
2-2. And a base hit the other way. Cole makes the turn but hangs on at second base. He was off with that pitch. So the Rays keep it going. Matt Joyce just takes one into left.
Stay on the at bat again. After swinging and missing that pitch, he gets a ball away from him with a little elevation. And Matt Joyce, using the other part of the field, shoots it the other way, keeps the Rays alive here in the ninth.
Buck Showalter heads to the mound. Jose Lobaton has been announced as the pinch hitter for Sean Rodriguez. And so another pitching change, called to the bullpen. The Metro PCS called to the bullpen. Down to their final out, 2 men on. Jim Johnson, the closer for the Orioles, gets into this game. Their 5th pitcher of the game after leading 9-1 at one point. And Jose Lobaton will be facing the tall right-hander Jim Johnson. Pitch upstairs. Okay, the way we've seen Hunter throw, I mean, Johnson's been very successful, but Hunter's been tough.
He has, and I think this is Buck Showalter trying to get his closer some confidence back. He had that run of 35 straight saves that was snapped. The Rays then got him right after that, and he has had some struggles here as of late. So you've got to, much like Joe Madden and with Fernando Rodney, said, listen, he's my guy. I'm going to keep running him out there, and I know that it's going to turn around. Well, it has for Fernando, and Buck hoping the same for Jim Johnson. But you're right, Tommy Hunter with that plus fastball and that cutter. Goodness. Mind him seeing him stand right there.
Well, that's a strike call. Take a look at this one. Lobaton thought it was high.
Ow.
I think he was right.
Cedarstrom's had a good game, guys. That was from down here. I could see how high it was.
1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Lobaton's had a nice run. Been a much more competent catcher and hitter. 2-2. Ground ball up the middle. Base hit into center. Full heads to the plate. Lobaton keeps it going. Jose Lobaton off the bench and drives in a run. It's now 10-7.
And guess what that does?
Gets a tying run to the plate.
I'll tell you what.
And Kelly Johnson
giving him a finish right out over the plate. You talk about a player with confidence. It's been so fun to see Jose Lobaton not only at the plate but behind the dish, just improving. Boy, big hit there and excited.
Now Kelly Johnson, and he takes the pitch down.
Cross up.
Big time.
Well, these two matched up. Kelly Johnson hit a home run off Jim Johnson back on the 18th of May. That started a 6-run ninth. And the Rays walked away with a 10-6 victory. Tying run at the plate. 1-0 to Johnson. Almost hit it. Fastball. 2 balls, no strikes.
There was a purpose to that pitch where he came up and then hard on Kelly Johnson. Try to buy you a couple extra inches away.
And a swing gonna miss. Makes it 2-1.
Good off-speed pitch there by Johnson. 89 takes a little bit off.
Rays with a run home here. 2-1 to Kelly Johnson, and he pops it up. Hardy on the left side makes the catch to end this game. Well, the Rays gave him a run. They pick up a run in the 9th inning and fall today 10-7 after trailing 9-1. We'll be back with the totals in a moment.